All right, welcome into the post-game show, everybody. Reacting to Nuggets at the Mavs. Game just ended. What an epic game tonight in Dallas. We have so much to get into in this game. There was so much that happened in this basketball game tonight, and I want to get all of your comments on the post-game show. Unfortunately, it didn't go the Nuggets' way. They lose to Cooper Flagg and the Dallas Mavericks. The final 131 to 130. The Nuggets had a chance to win it at the buzzer. It was Jokic and Murray running their two-man game, and Murray gets the ball into Jokic in the post. They immediately double-team Joker. He passes it out to the corner three to Peyton Watson, who nearly sunk that shot. I mean, it went halfway down and rimmed out. And just a heartbreaking loss for the Nuggets tonight. So, like I said, lots to get into here on the post-game show. I'm Dan Tanner. I'm your host as we react to Nuggets and Mavs. So, first off, I just wanted to start with the Cam Johnson injury we saw at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Very scary-looking injury. Cam went down. It looked like he hyperextended his right knee. The look on his face had me worried more than anything. The replay, you could tell it was a very awkward landing on that knee, hyperextended. Now, I will say, I think Cam Johnson and the Nuggets may have dodged a bit of a bullet, because the Nuggets actually tweeted out during the game that it was a right knee sprain and he was questionable to return. So the fact that he was even questionable to return in this basketball game is good news. So hopefully Cam Johnson is not out for long. I wouldn't be surprised if he misses some time, but I think it could have been a lot worse than what it was. So, but it just, it sucked to see Cam Johnson go down like that. Man, there's so many things to get into in this game. Cooper Flagg. I mean, this guy is a superstar already. He is unbelievable. He started the game 7 of 7 shooting from the field. He was fantastic in this game tonight. Look, I'm going to start with the negatives I thought happened in tonight's game, okay? There were a lot of things that happened in this basketball game that was making me angry during the broadcast. Namely, the Nuggets defense, I thought, was just absolutely atrocious. Absolutely horrendous defense from the Nuggets tonight. There was a moment in the first half. I can't remember the Mavs player who shot the three, but there was a moment that really just got my blood boiling in the first half of this basketball game. Mavs player's taking a three. Peyton Watson just sort of jogs out to this guy. It doesn't even put a hand up in his face. Like, that is unacceptable. Peyton Watson, I love the kid, but that was a moment where I couldn't believe he couldn't even get a hand up in his face. The defense tonight for the Nuggets was absolutely unacceptable. And look, I get it. Two of their best defensive players are out right now, but I thought the effort on the defensive end tonight was absolutely pathetic. All right, let's we got D-Mac here, who's, I believe, is live at the Avalanche game. D, thanks for jumping up. I forgot you were at the Avs game. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Switch your mic. I think you're on your camera mic there.
Oh, well, that's all I have.
Oh, gotcha. That's all right. Yeah, I can hear you. No worries.
Yeah, I'll just, we're honoring a hero right now.
Oh, okay. Yes. Very cool.
Sorry, 1-0. Avs are up.
Oh, good. They scored. Okay, I saw it was 0-0.
But we meet myself and Raj. Raj is here too.
What's up, Raj?
And we were watching painfully the end of the game. Both of us were in, like, okay. You know what's funny, Dan? Oh, it's too bad to hear. Can you hear me or not?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, so jokingly, I said to Raj, well, Peyton Watson's going to be open in the corner. I swear to God. Raj, did I say that? Yes. And then they kick it out to him, and we're both like, But he has been good making that shot, Dan. He has.
He's been money from that spot. So, I don't mind the play. I'd rather Nikola Jokic or Jamal Murray take the final shot. But, okay, it was the right play. and he almost made it. I mean, the thing went halfway down and it bounced out. Yeah, I won't keep you for long because I know you're busy at the Avs game, but
Yeah.
there were the negatives in tonight's game. The Nuggets defense was pathetic tonight.
Yeah.
And it's not that it just looks like they don't give a crap on the defensive end in some games. And that's what it looked like tonight. So I don't know, very frustrating. Some of the negatives from the game. The defense was atrocious. They couldn't defend without fouling. They had way too many turnovers to start the game, including Nikola Jokic.
Yeah.
They had no energy early on in this game. In fact, some of their coaches even mentioned that at halftime. And I thought Spencer Jones was pretty bad tonight. He looked lost at times. I got to say, man, I think I'm quickly over the Spencer Jones experiment going on. Like he's had some good moments, but I just don't know how much he provides to this team. So I don't know. Just quick thoughts on the game, and then I'll let you go.
Another thought is we made a comment watching here at the Ball Arena during the Avs game. The Nuggets look too small, and I think David Adelman must have had that same thought because he went with Jonas and Joker, and I think that's the latest in the game that he's put those two guys together. And it did work to a certain degree. And then, of course, we're all very worried about Cam Johnson and his knee. That looks terrible. And so we hope for the best. I mean, can you imagine, Dan, being down three starters? Three starters. Pretty difficult. I will let you go because this is probably annoying listening to me. 1-0 Avs.
All good. Go Avs.
Make sure after in the paint we have between the pipes, and we're not going to get a double winneroo.
Nope.
And I got to give Cooper Flagg a lot of credit. He turned 19
He's so good.
days ago. Yeah, he is so good. He is a.
By the way, they mentioned he turned 19 2 days ago about 100 times on the NBC broadcast tonight. That was also
that's because it's Mike Tirico, my former classmate at Syracuse University.
That's right.
That's right. Syracuse University.
All right, guys. I'll let you go. Go Avs. See ya. That was great. I totally forgot D-Mac was at the Avs game. Yeah, so some negatives from tonight's game. You heard me just mention them to D-Mac there. Just very frustrating things. Like, I'm not trying to be too reactionary when it comes to Spencer Jones. Look, I thought he was awful tonight. Has he been awful for the Nuggets this season? No, he has not. In fact, he's had some really good games and some really good moments, but he's very limited. His shot is just, I've never liked his shooting motion. It looks super awkward. It takes forever for him to release his shot. He was wide open from the corner and just couldn't buy a three-pointer tonight. Like, I get why the Nuggets are passing it to him in the corner because he's wide open. But at some point, the other guys got to realize, like, maybe we should try to find a different way to score this thing and not get it to Spencer Jones in the corner. Like Cam Johnson and Peyton from the corners, I'm totally fine with that. But to me, it's, and I know the Nuggets are injured right now, and prayers up for Cam. Hopefully, like I said, it was somewhat good news actually that the Nuggets tweeted out that it was a knee sprain and that he was questionable to return. I mean, I think the fact that he was even questionable to return is a good sign. Now, can he still miss time? Absolutely. I mean, Christian Brown's been out for 8 weeks with an ankle sprain. So, a knee sprain is probably more significant. But who knows? We'll find more out in the next coming days. I'd be shocked if he played on Christmas against the Timberwolves. But yeah, I just the Spencer Jones experiment to me is starting to run its course a little bit. But on the other side of that coin, I get why Adelman's playing him because they're so banged up right now, and the damn injury bug just keeps biting at this team. Now, like I said the same thing with AG and Christian Brown when they went down with injuries. I'd rather have this. If it's going to happen, it's better that it's happening early in the season instead of these happening in March or, God forbid, April. But man, like, is Spencer Jones a better option than Zeke Naji right now? I can't believe I'm actually saying that, but seriously, like, and Zeke has been playing sparingly, but I thought when Zeke's been in this year, he's been okay. Like he's a bigger body. You just heard DMAC talk about, and Raj, they were talking at the Avs game about the Nuggets just looked too small. The Mavs looked way bigger than the Nuggets, which they were. Like Zeke's a bigger dude than Spencer Jones. So if anything, I would have been okay with like 8 to 10 minutes from Zeke tonight, get a bigger body out there. Maybe he can help defend a little bit more. I mean, the Mavs were getting to the rim so easily tonight. It was pathetic. I couldn't believe the Nuggets defensive effort tonight. Now, I will say that there were some positives from tonight's game as well. I mean, I thought the two-man game between Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray was vintage Jokic and Murray two-man game. That was tremendous. Tim Hardaway's shooting really kept them in this game. Without Tim Hardaway shooting tonight, the Nuggets aren't even close in this one. So his three-pointers, especially in that third quarter, were massive. And in fact, the Nuggets were down 10 at halftime. They ended up tying it going into the fourth quarter, mostly because Tim Hardaway couldn't stop hitting threes. The third quarter was one of the craziest quarters I've seen in quite some time. The Mavs in that third quarter went on a 15-0 run and still lost the quarter by 10. They got outscored 47-37. So the Nuggets won the third quarter by 10 points while also giving up a 15-0 run to the Mavericks in that third quarter. The third was just insane. So the Nuggets actually started out hot to start the third. Then the Mavs go on their 15-0 run. And then the Nuggets close the third really well in just what was a crazy, crazy third quarter. And then the defense, I don't necessarily know if the defense is picked up in the fourth. I think these teams were just gassed. They both played last night. Dallas actually played in New Orleans where they lost. The Nuggets obviously played at home last night in Utah. So they both had to fly back to Dallas last night. I think both of these teams were just absolutely gassed at the end of this game. I don't really think it was like the defenses were picking up. It's just these teams were, you could tell that they were fried. But Jokic and Murray looked good throughout the fourth quarter. I mean, that's the benefit of the Nuggets blowing out the Jazz last night, is they didn't have to play Jokic and Murray in that fourth quarter, whereas the Mavs were in a very close game to the Pelicans, and they had to play all their starters down to the wire. So yeah, just tough night. Again, Peyton Watson was so good last night. He had 22 points. I thought in his return from the right trunk contusion, he had a rough game tonight. Really rough game. Just 4 points, 0 of 3 shooting from the field, 0 of 2 from 3. Obviously, the last one was the one that hurt the most, the one that could have won the Nuggets the game. All 4 of his points came from the free throw line. And I thought his defensive effort was subpar at best tonight from Peyton Watson. So it was just a frustrating game to watch. I mean, the Mavs weren't playing much defense either. Let's be honest. Okay. There was not a whole lot of defense being played in this game, although Cooper Flagg had a couple of pretty big blocks on the defensive end as well. I tell you what, this kid is, between he and Wemby and, Anthony Edwards, Luka, like there are so many great young players in the Western Conference. Now, luckily for Denver, they still have the best player on the planet in Nikola Jokic, but these teams are going to be a problem in a couple of years. I think the Spurs are getting right up there now. I mean, shoot, you still, and I didn't even mention anybody on the Thunder, like Chet Holmgren. He's another really good young player. But yeah, just a frustrating night. We saw Curtis Jones get into the game tonight. That was interesting. I swear to God, I saw him out there and I was like, who the hell is that guy? Didn't even recognize him. So Curtis Jones is getting minutes over Hunter Tyson, Zeke Naji, and those guys. Interesting. I mean, Jalen Pickett only had 6 minutes. Curtis Jones had 4. Wow. Really, really interesting stuff. All right. I want to hear your thoughts on the game, as I believe KJ is going to join me here when he and Berto are done with the Network postgame on the radio, but I do want to get to some of your comments here before we continue with the show. Let's see here. Dante says, don't understand NBA teams taking 3-point shots when you only need 2. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I understand your frustration with that, and I'm assuming you're talking about the final shot. Like I said, I'd much rather have Nikola Jokic or Jamal Murray or Tim Hardaway taking that last shot, to be honest with you. But that's the thing about Nikola Jokic, everybody. Peyton was wide open. Jokic gets the immediate double team. He's going to make the right play. Man, I don't know. I'd still, like, in that instance, it's like, Joker, just take the shot. I trust you more than Peyton in the corner. Although, but that's also, to Joker's credit, Peyton's been really good in that spot the entire season. And he was wide open. So they run the 2-man game. Jamal gets it to Jokic in the painted area. He immediately gets double teamed. Peyton's wide open in the corner. Jokic makes the right play. He's going to make that pass 10 times out of 10, 100 times out of 100. That's how Nikola Jokic is wired. He's going to make the right play, and that was the right play. He was wide open in the corner. By the way, like I said, he almost made the shot. I mean, it went halfway down and rimmed back out. And then Peyton, you could see, was just devastated, sitting right down next to the Nuggets bench right after that. Just a really, really, really tough watch. But what a fun basketball game. I mean, that was an epic game tonight we saw in Dallas between the Nuggets and the Mavs. Oh, by the way, that ends the Nuggets' 11-game road winning streak. They hadn't lost a road game since Halloween. So almost 2 months they had not lost on the road. That streak ends tonight. All right, let's keep going with the comments here. Should have won that one. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, and I credit the Nuggets offensively. They were rolling. The 2-man game between Jamal and Jokic was cooking. Tim Hardaway was great. I thought Jonas Valanciunas again was fantastic in his bench minutes when Jokic was off the floor. But you're gonna have to play a lick of defense. The energy to start the game, I get it. It's a second night of a back-to-back. You got into Dallas late last night, but so did the Mavericks. So I don't like those excuses. I don't want to hear that from Nuggets fans. Well, it's second night of a back-to-back, like, slow start. The Mavs didn't start slow, did they? And they had to play their starters down to the wire against the Pelicans last night in a game which they lost. So the fact that the Nuggets came out as low energy as they did, they were turning the ball over way too much. Like, that's been one of the things that has frustrated me most so far this year. Really over the last couple of years, to be honest with you. The Nuggets turn the ball over way too much. And if you've listened to me before, that's one of the things I've talked about. One of the only areas you can criticize Nikola Jokic is turnovers. He turns the ball over way too much. It's been an issue for a while. Now, I give Joker a little bit of grace with his turnovers, only because he's trying so many crazy passes that some of them aren't going to go his way. But the majority of them do. But to start the game tonight with the effort the Nuggets had, with the turnovers they had, it almost felt like they were doomed from the start. And the fact that they made this a close ball game and had a chance to win it at the buzzer was honestly quite shocking to me. Can't have the slow starts like that. You just can't do it. I mean, Cooper Flagg came out on fire. He started this game 7 of 7 shooting from the field. He was tremendous. Man, is he a good player. He is already a superstar. That guy, he's already had a 42-point game. He's played 30 games in the NBA. They had Melo on the NBC broadcast, and it got me thinking. They were talking about Cooper Flagg and Tracy McGrady. Cooper has, he was right up there with Tracy McGrady, Kobe, and LeBron for like the most points before turning 19. But I remember with Carmelo, like, he wasn't an elite scorer right away. In fact, it really wasn't until his third year in the NBA where he really figured it out. Cooper Flagg seems like he's got this thing figured out already. That guy was all over the place, and he's much better defensively than I thought he was as well. Much better defensively. Yeah, just a tough loss. You had the loss to the Mavs earlier this year at Ball Arena. That stunk. And then you can't get a win in a game where really the Nuggets had a chance to get this one, and it just didn't go their way. All right, let's see here. Martin says, can't be Watson shooting either Jokic or Murray. Yeah, I get it. Trust me. I get it. That was the first thing I said was like, how do you not have Jokic or Murray taking that final shot? Or even Tim Hardaway with the way he was shooting it tonight. I would have been fine with Tim as well. But like I said, Joker's going to make the right play every single time. That's just what he does. And you may not like it. I don't really like it, but it's the right play. In that situation, you could make the argument Joker when it's down to the wire and you have a chance to win. I don't care if you're double team, take the shot. I would have been fine with that too. But you can't, it's hard to fault Joker on that because like I said, it was the right play. I mean, if that happens in the second quarter or the third quarter, you don't even bat an eye. But I get it. It's the final shot. You really, really want Jokic or Murray to be the one taking that shot. All right, let's get to some more of your comments here. Ooh, this is interesting. Martin the Vet says, Jokic lost the game. He should have shot the ball. Yeah, I get it. I mean, and Martin also says team playing lazy. I agree, Martin. That was that defensive effort. I mean, it was lazy. That's what it looked like. It was sickening how bad they were defensively tonight. Just the effort. Like, I get that some of their best defensive players are out. I get it. But I told you guys earlier a specific example early in the game. I can't remember the Mavs player that took the three, but Peyton Watson, the guy's wide open. And Peyton Watson just kind of jogs out to him, doesn't even put a hand up. I'm sitting here like, you can't even put your hand up? What are we doing? I don't know. I've heard the percentages before. I don't know the exact numbers, but shooters' shot percentage goes way down with a hand in your face. I don't care if you're 10 feet away from the guy. Put your hands in the air, Peyton. Golly, that was a frustrating moment tonight. I was screaming at my television on that one. And I love Peyton Watson, but that was not a good look. And it was kind of a good metaphor for how the Nuggets played defensively tonight. Just absolutely atrocious defense. Lazy defense. I mean, I get it. The Mavs have been much, much better. They put Ryan Nembhard in the starting lineup a couple weeks ago, and I think they've been averaging like 10 more points a game. So I get it. Their offense is cooking. But it's one thing to give up 131 points and be hustling your ass off on the defensive end. The Nuggets weren't doing that tonight. How many wide open threes did the Mavericks have tonight? They had so many open looks. I couldn't even, I was trying to count them up during the game. I stopped counting because it was so many. I ran out of fingers. All right, let's keep your comments going here. Let's see here. All right, Spencer Jones is a fine backup power forward that can defend smaller players on the perimeter, but he's not a starter. He's filled in admirably considering he's a two-way player. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think he has filled in admirably for the contract he's on, for being a two-way player. I get it. But I got to tell you, I'm over the Spencer Jones experiment. Like, I can't wait for Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown to get back. He's very limited on the offensive end and defensive end. And his he was kind of shooting the ball from three okay. couple weeks ago for a couple of game stretch there. But his shot, he has completely lost confidence in his shot. And there's a reason why he is wide open in the corner every single offensive possession. That's not happening by accident. He's wide open for a reason because he's not hitting his shots. Teams were doing that to Peyton Watson earlier on in the year. And now they have to run out to Peyton because he's shown the ability to knock down those corner threes at a high clip. But if you got a guy sitting in the corner that is ice cold from three, you might as well take him off the court. Nobody's even guarding him. And I get why the Nuggets are passing him the ball. He's wide open, but he's not hitting those shots. So, look, like I said, he has filled in admirably. He's had some good moments. He's had some good games for this Nuggets team. But listen, there's a reason he's a two-way player, okay? How many two-way players in the NBA are like legitimate starters for a Denver Nuggets level basketball team? And I get it. They're injured right now, but like, I just think there's better options. Like I'm not a huge fan of Zeke Naji. Don't get me wrong, but I trust Zeke Naji more than Spencer Jones right now. I just do, and he's a more experienced player. I'll be curious to see if Adelman switches things up against the Timberwolves coming up on Thursday, Christmas night game. But we don't know about Cam Johnson, and I highly doubt that Cam Johnson will be playing in that game. It'd be great if he is, but man, the look on Cam's face when he went down, I thought he tore his ACL. I mean, the look he had on his face, the way he was holding his knee, he was pounding the hardwood, didn't look good. But like I said, if you missed it, the Nuggets actually ended up tweeting out during the game that it was a right knee sprain and he was questionable to return. So to me, that's good news. Okay. Like they didn't rule him out right away, and it's not an ACL tear or anything like that. It's a right knee sprain. We don't know the severity. I'm sure we'll find that out in the next couple of days, but it could have been much, much worse for Cam Johnson and the Nuggets. So hopefully this isn't a season ending type deal, but jeez, the injury bug right now is just crushing the Nuggets. Absolutely crushing them. All right, let's see here. Martin says that's what used to piss off Malone when he was coaching. Can you explain what you mean by that? I'm not sure what you're referencing there. I'd like to respond to that if I could. All right, let's see here. The reason the Nuggets lost tonight is one, because we just didn't have the energy to start off the game. True. And second, our turnovers to start off the game killed us. Yeah, both things I've mentioned. The energy was bad to start the game. The turnovers were bad. I mean, on the Nuggets' first possession, Nikola Jokic it was the first or second possession of the game. Joker just threw the ball out of bounds. Like, just sitting here like, okay, this can be one of those games, huh? Yeah, it was one of those games. This is a good question. Why not give Deron Holmes a look in minutes while AG is out? I'm with you. I have been stumping for Deron Holmes to get a shot. I don't know if you've all been paying attention to him in the G League or not, but he has been dominating the G League. And they keep calling him up. They keep sending him back down. They're calling him up. They're sending him back down. I don't understand what Adelman is doing with Deron Holmes. That one to me is very odd, especially considering all of the injuries the Nuggets have gone through. Now, depending on how long Cam Johnson's out, maybe we will start to see Deron Holmes. Maybe that's a guy that they finally give a chance with. I mean, you're going to have 3 starters out potentially for the foreseeable future. Now, if you missed it on last night's show, Hastings on the broadcast actually said he would be pretty surprised if Christian Brown didn't play at some point on the Nuggets 7-game East Coast road trip. Good news. There's been videos of him coming out dunking. Another good sign. So it looks like Christian Brown is getting closer and closer to returning. So that's positive news, but we just don't know when that's going to be. So I'm with you. I've been saying for a while now, like, you drafted this guy. I know that this front office didn't draft him, but they were high on this guy when they selected him in the draft. Give him a chance. He's been playing really well in the G League. I would love to ask Adam that question. Like, what do you need to see from Deron Holmes to get him some minutes? What is it going to take for him to get a shot at playing some real NBA basketball this season? That is a question that I would definitely like answered. So we'll see. Yeah, frustrating loss for the Nuggets tonight. I mean, a great game, a very exciting game, super exciting finish. It just didn't go the Nuggets' way, and they fall to the Mavs. 131-130 is your final. We'll be watching the Nuggets play the Timberwolves coming up on Christmas. That game's a late game. It probably won't tip off till, I would imagine, around 8:50. And then the Nuggets have yet to lose back-to-back games this year, by the way. So hopefully they can keep that streak going against the Timberwolves. And then they go on their 7-game East Coast road trip. They're at Orlando, at Miami, at Toronto, at Cleveland, at Brooklyn, at Philly, at Boston. That's a daunting 7-game East Coast road trip. So hopefully they can get guys like Christian Brown, maybe Cam Johnson back in that time frame. It just seems like Aaron Gordon's going to be a little bit longer off. But that's going to do it for the post-game show tonight, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to In the Paint right here on Altitude Sports Radio.